to the children and those who actually try to generate value added in society. We're trying to work in what I call moving from fantasy to reality. Because if we're only teaching the children what we know, the next generation can only do as bad as we are doing. We urgently need to create a tremendous space for creative, innovative leadership, not provided by us, but provided by the children. And unless we create that space, they will only make the errors we have kept on repeating for decades. Why I'm sitting here as a business person? Because I've established 7 companies. 2 went bankrupt, 5 did fine. My average is okay. But I was also the publisher of the State of the World reports in Europe. Perhaps you know, World Watch Institute. And I created a company which took its factory as its symbol. It was the first what has been called zero emissions factory around the world. I opened it in 1992. It had a grass roof in it to prove that the detergents made inside were actually green. But the grass roof did more than that. It was my water treatment system. By pumping the wastewater on the roof, it had a natural treatment. And by having water on the roof in the summertime, it evaporates and keeps the inside cool. And in the winter, it creates the igloo effect and keeps the inside warm. By creating a factory that was actually costing double the price of a normal factory, I, on the other hand, had the chance to eliminate my water treatment system, and I did not need a cooling or a heating system. That's what we call systems thinking in practice. It worked, and we made more money than I could ever imagine. CNN on primetime news called that factory, it looks like a cathedral. Well, indeed, it is perhaps something like a cathedral. But I learned a very major mistake there, and we need to learn from our mistakes. The soaps that I was producing were made from palm oil. And it took me 3 years to visit my suppliers in Indonesia, only to realize that those who think they're cleaning up the rivers of New York by using biodegradable soaps are unfortunately contributing to the destruction of the rainforest in Indonesia. Where rainforests are being cleared by the hundreds of hectares at the same time because we want biodegradable soaps. We don't connect A and B. And that's why I left the business world, I sold all my activities, and I decided to dedicate it to a foundation. A foundation which started in Japan and is still being mainly supported by Japan. There are today 2,800 corporations in Japan which support the concept of zero emissions. Zero means zero, no compromise possible. It's that or it's nothing. And we have to be uncompromising about the future. The future we're generating today does not provide an awful lot of hope. But I want to think positive. So therefore we engage in research, we undertake projects, implement the research, and we dedicate to education. What's our objective? We want to respond to the needs of all, the basic needs of all, in co-evolution with nature, with that what is available. In co-evolution, respond to the needs of all, with that what you have available. That's my definition of sustainability. So we have to design strategies to reach it. We human beings are recent arrivals on Earth. We're just basically trying to learn how to behave. A cockroach has been around for 350 million years, therefore it knows how to fit in, especially in our waste. We like to have a positive attitude. Too much about the environment and sustainable development sounds so horribly depressing. How can we have the positive attitude so we feel we're creating and nurturing a future? How can I clean without detergents? Because I want something clean, I go to the forest, it smells fresh. And no one in the forest is using detergents. How can I have color without color pigments? The peacock has the most beautiful colors, we admire it, but no color pigments. The owl is flying without making a noise. How can we learn from the design of the owl so that we know how to design planes that don't make a noise? And not only, please, for military application. How can we learn from the termite that is able to create a perfect cooling system without any aircon? The termite always has 87 Fahrenheit inside, always 61 degrees, always 61% humidity, no fans, no aircon, nothing of that. If we want to inspire children to do better, we have to really start inspiring ourselves as well. How do plants in the desert have water every day without pumps, without desalination plants? We think we are the Homo sapiens. We are the Homo non-sapiens. We have to learn from the zebra. Do you know why the zebra has black and white stripes? We've always been asking ourselves, but we never really poked into the question. It's an aircon system. The zebra is the animal that has the best aircon system in the world, because the hot air rises on the black stripes, the colder air is maintained above the white stripes, and we have a rising air on one side and a set air on the other. It flows. The aircon is able to decrease the temperature on its skin by 4 to 5 degrees. And we look at the zebra, we don't even think about it. In Colombia, you have a project called Las Gaviotas. Any of you know Las Gaviotas? I've been associated for 22 years with Las Gaviotas. I've been there 24 times. Today, Las Gaviotas is an area where you do the reforestation. No, better said, the renaissance of the rainforest by converting the savanna back to the rainforest it once used to be. Paulo Lugari has done it on 8,000 hectares. We're going to do it on 6 million hectares. But to do it, we need to understand that a tree will not grow in a savanna, as everyone knows. But if you have a mycorrhizal fungus that is like the saliva on the roots of the tree, you can reforestate a savanna back into the rainforest it used to be. That is positive thinking. That's doing better than finding technologies to pump CO2 into the deep ocean at high cost, pleasing the engineers and engineering companies. But once you have a rainforest being regenerated, then you're generating drinking water. Drinking water should be for free. How can we regenerate drinking water? By planting trees. No one really knows, and particularly scientists don't think it is possible. At Las Gaviotas, when the women need water, the kids go out and play on a seesaw. A seesaw? Yes, exactly, because we attach the pump to the seesaw. Why do women have to walk 4 miles a day to get water to the kitchen when you basically can install 5 seesaws and do exactly the same? We have to put fun back into sustainable development. We have to think about children that think it is great to sit on a seesaw and pump instead of sending kids around carrying water. And when we do in our Western world finally get our water bottles in place, then we have these pet recycling challenges, which we should never ever be recycling. And unfortunately you can't see the picture because the computer system was not in place here today. The bottles are made like Legos, so you can click them together, and kids, after having been able to drink the water, now can go out and play and learn how to make bridges. Lego is made from PVC. We shouldn't have that in our homes, and it's too expensive for kids in the third world anyway. All PET bottles should be converted into toys for kids, so kids have millions and billions of toys to play with and learn how to build.